Back with another one. Yes, sir. We here with that ex-slave talk about slavery in the USA. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get straight to it. I'm really curious to see what you know what I'm saying, what he say, shit like that. So let's get straight to it.
But John Henry Falk may have experienced the most profound effect. He was a graduate student when he interviewed the former slaves, including the two women you hear in this broadcast. Himself interviewed just before he died in 1979, Falk was going on about how he believed in giving blacks the right to go to school, giving them the right to vote, giving them the right to go into anything they qualified for. And then he said he experienced an epiphany.
Yeah, sitting out on a wagon tongue with this old black man, and was telling him what a different kind of white man I was. I remember him looking at me very sadly and kind of sweetly and condescending and said, "You know, you still got the disease, honey. I know you think you're cured, but you're not cured. You can't give me the right to be a human being. I'm born with that right. Now, you can keep me from having that. If you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your side, you can deprive me of it. But you can't give it to me, because I was born with it just like you was."
Exactly.
My God, it had a profound effect on me. I was furious with him. But the more I reflected on it, the more profoundly it affected me. And I realized this was where it really was.
Tell you the truth, when I think of it today, I don't know how I'm living.
I remember that just as well it looked like to me, I can.
Been slaves all our lives. Your mother was a slave, sister was a slave, father was a slave. They know nothing about reading right there. All that I know, they teach you to mind your master and your mistress. Mama them didn't know where to go. You see, after freedom go, just like he turned something out, didn't know where to go.
They are haunting voices from the past, not actors reading a script or scholars reading a text, but the actual voices of men and women.
Crazy thing, crazy thing is, bro, America don't even got sympathy for slavery at all. They don't really give a fuck. They feel like us having equality is enough, you know?
Americans who were born in slavery.
It's fucked up.
My name is Fountain Hughes. I was born in Charlottesville, Virginia. My grandfather belonged to Thomas Jefferson. My grandfather was 115 years old when he died.
Damn.
And now I am 101 years old. Other people didn't have no beds when they were slaves. People slept on the floor. Pallet here, pallet there. Just like a lot of wild people. We didn't know nothing. Didn't like look at no book.
Harriet Smith, remembering what she saw as a small girl during the final days of the Civil War.
I stood on that picket fence all day long, seeing them soldiers going back to silent zones, different places. Colored soldiers in Joe. That's right along by our house. Our home is a two-story house.
These recorded memories were among thousands of interviews done
let her
with
talk.
ex-slaves in the 1930s and 40s.
Can you remember slavery days very
Of
well?
course, I remember all our white folks and all the names of them, all the children. Call every one of the children's names.
Who did you belong to?
Jim Bunton, the baby boy.
The results of these digitally enhanced recordings are arresting, almost unbelievable. The idea of hearing the voices of actual slaves from the plantations of the Old South is as powerful, as startling, really, as if you could hear Abraham Lincoln or Robert E. Lee speak. Listen again to Fountain Hughes, who was born in 1848.
We were slaves. We belonged to people. They sell us like they sell horses and cows and hogs and all like that. Have an auction bench and they put you up on the bench and bid on you the same as you're bidding on cattle, you know.
Much of what these three former slaves say may at first seem unremarkable. Much of what they say may surprise and upset, and their calm demeanor is at odds with the evil and violence we associate with slavery. Here is 91-year-old Texan Laura Smalley talking in the 1940s about the outcome of a tussle between two women, one black, one white, one slave, one mistress. The mistress tried to slap the slave, but the black woman pushed her into a chair. Laura Smalley was a girl at the time, but she remembers vividly what happened to the black woman when the master came home.
Well, they taken that poor old woman, cat in the peach orchard, and whipped her. And, just tied her hand this way, around the peach orchard tree. I remember that just as well, looked like to me, I can, and round the tree, and whipped her. And well, she couldn't do nothing but just kick her feet, just kick her feet. But it just had her clothes off down to her waist, Just didn't have her plumb naked, but they had her clothes down to her waist. And every now and then they'd whip her, and then.
Bro, like I said, bro, it's so crazy that ain't nothing like, bro. Bro, what's the motive for all of this? What's the motive for slavery? If you know, and it's real facts, or you know what I'm saying, it's like your opinion, but it came from good resources or something, not just you thinking. Cause some people be smart, but some people be dumb as hell. On my mama. But I ain't gonna lie. If you know, let me know in the comments right now. Shit, it is what I don't know, but I don't know what the fuck is the motive of slavery. Cause it's like, I wish I had a time machine and some blicks. But nah, I sound crazy though, don't I? That's crazy, huh? It's fucked up.
Snuff the pipe out on her, Snuff the pipe out on her. The embers in the pipe. I don't know where you ever see the pipe smoking.
Blow them out on her?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
The plantation on which Smalley was a slave sounds brutal. She recalls scrambling with other children for food.
It's not like this was hundreds or thousands of years ago. You know what I'm saying? This is literally they didn't even end this shit. They ended this shit probably 150 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's not that long ago.
A huge wooden tray, like a hog trough.
All of them, would get around that tray with spoons and eat, sit like mush or soup or something like that. And all them children get around there and just eat.
Fountain Hughes tells his interviewer about the relentless round of work for him on a Virginia plantation.
Night never comes out. You have nothing to do. Time to cut tobacco. If they want you to cut all night long out in the field, you cut.
I thought you said stop doing it.
And if they want you to hang all night long, you hang tobacco. It didn't matter about your tired.
This ain't
Tired,
tobacco.
you're afraid to say you're tired.
It was cotton, not tobacco, that solidified slavery, though. The invention of the cotton gin at the end of the 18th century made its processing easy, but the crop still needed enormous amounts of unskilled labor. Control of the slave and his labor through laws and
like what in their right minds would make them feel like just because we a different skin color, y'all get to just rule shit, bro. I don't know, bro. Native Americans never got that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, although I think you get a check if you live in the tribe or some shit like that, but like still, bro, money ain't shit compared to people they lost, bro. It's like I don't like it here, bro. I want to move to like my own island. That should be dope as hell, huh? Bitch, I ain't rich enough. That's a lot of money. It's a lot.
regulations became paramount. Fountain Hughes talks about one of those controls, the pass system.
Now, I couldn't go from here across the street, or I couldn't go to nobody's house without I have a note or something from my master. And if I had that pass, that was what we call a pass. If I had that pass, I could go wherever he sent me, and I'd have to be back. Whoever he sent me to, they'd give me another pass, and I'd bring that back, so to show how long.
Even emancipation didn't truly free the slaves. Freedom freed slaves for more travail. The end of the Civil War found many cast adrift without skills and no place to go. And the Yankees who freed them weren't always seen as benevolent liberators.
I remember when the Yankees come along and took all the good horses and took sold all the meat and flour and sugar and stuff out in the river and let it go down the river. And they know the people wouldn't have nothing to live on, but they done that.
The ex-slaves left one hell for another, perhaps an even more dangerous one. No longer property, they didn't have the protections afforded property.
When we were slaves, we couldn't do that. See? And if we got free, we didn't know nothing to do. And my mother, she hunted places and bound us out for $1 a month. But we didn't have no property. We didn't have no home. We had nowhere, nothing. We didn't have nothing on it. Just like the cattle, we just turned out and get along the best you could.
In Texas, the slaves weren't told they were free until 2 months after the war ended. Smalley remembers that her masters gave the slaves a dinner, and then they were free.
I don't know how the other side of the folks know freedom. We didn't know. They just thought, we're just feeding us, Them didn't know where to go. You see, after freedom broke, just like he turned something out, Didn't know where to go. But just where to stay. Didn't know where to go. Turn us out just like, you turn out cattle.
In the narratives, the slaves used an interesting phrase for the end of slavery. They say, when the break came. Good times, easy times were not at hand.
But hold on, though. Like I was saying, like I was going to say, imagine being a slave and all you know is just be here, do this. All you know is this, what you do every day, all day, every day. And then one day you just free into the wild. You know what I'm saying? What would you do? Let me know in the comments right now. What would you do if you was a slave and then you were free into the wild and you just had to go do something? What would you do? Would you go build a house? Would you just go get some food real quick? Would you get a fire going? What would you do? You feel me? Let me know in the comments right now.
The trials for millions of black Americans didn't end in 1865. They continued. Laura Smalley and her family became sharecroppers. Harriet Smith's first husband was killed by whites during the Reconstruction, probably because of his political organizing. Fountain Hughes went north to Baltimore and worked at numerous jobs, including hauling manure. Not an enviable job, but it was the job of a free man.
Hey,
There's one thing
that's
you need
crazy,
to do.
bro. It's crazy to really think about shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's real life, bro. This is real. It's not no damn movie. It's not no story of no. It's real life, bro. That shit crazy. I'm gonna catch y'all in this one, though.